mixed factoring with trinomials that have a coefficient greater than 1. There may be one other problem you'll see, and it'll have to do with multiple layers of factoring. Our first step is always to look for the greatest common factor. So in this case, what do they all have in common? They all have in common a 5. So I'm going to divide this whole top problem by 5 because that's my greatest common factor. When I do that, I get 2k squared plus 15k plus 7. At this point, I'm going to use my slip and slide technique, so I'm going to slip the 2 over to the 7 and multiply them together. I will get k squared plus 15k plus 14, and it's important to remember to carry the greatest common factor outside of the parentheses. At this point, I'm using my factoring trinomials with a coefficient of 1 technique, which is on page 3 of your brochure. So I'm going to use this X factor technique because I seem to think it helps to organize a little bit more. I need to have two factors that multiply to get 14, but add to get 15. So over here I've given you my factors. I have 1 and 14. I have 2 and 7. Well, I know I don't need to go any further because 1 times 14 is 14 and 1 plus 14 is 15. So I found my two factors and I write them here. And they happen to both be positive. So at this stage, I'm going to put k plus 1 and k plus 14 and keep my greatest common factor out front. My third and fourth step with the slip and slide technique is to divide by what I slipped in the first place, so over 2. I'm going to reduce my fractions and move my denominator up top. So the 1/2 is reduced, so the 2 goes in front of the k and the 1 stays put. Over here, I reduce it to 7 over 1. 1 goes up front, 7 stays put. So as you can see right here, this is our final answer. That is all the way factored. If we wanted to check, we would FOIL this and distribute this. Okay, so just remember that there is a process in algebra, and we need to make sure that we're always looking for the process and not necessarily the answer.